All right, folks, welcome back to our second game of the doubleheader this afternoon here on GG Speedruns. I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23. Joining me on the commentary, Brisulph and Fearonburgundy. And boy, oh boy, for those of you who may have missed the first match, you're going to want to go back and watch that fifth game. It was absolute insanity and chaos.
It was a big delay after the match, and I got to say, guys, it was worth it. But, man, what a heartbreaker is, maybe I won't give the result, but a heartbreaker all the same. Go out and check it if you didn't see it. What an absolute crazy outcome. But you know what? We got another match for you here. We got a 7 seed and a 9 seed here. Burgundy, what's your early opening feeling here?
Well, usually my opening feeling is wrong. I mean, you look at these two, it is a coin flip pretty much, given how close they are in things. I think, though, that the experience that RNJesus has had in previous tournaments, he's a slight favorite, but I could easily see this going 6 or 7.
I'm probably going to give a very unpopular opinion here with what I'm about to say, but I have to agree with the veteranship here, and as good as Jefeman82 has been in this tournament, to me, it's now or never. I need to see something from Jefeman82. I need to see him pull off some sub-6 times. I need to see him really bring it against RNJesus. But I think you're right, Burgundy. I think RNJesus, the veteranship, is going to win the day. I think he gets it done in 5.
This match, to me, boils down to Jefeman will admit the PB, a little bit, like a whole lot of luck, because he cut from, I think, a 552 to a 527. He's still trying to find his footing for that consistency.
Exactly.
And on the RNJesus side, what version of RNJesus are we going to get? Are we going to get the stone cold killer that's going to make the good decisions in the regular rooms, keep those firing lanes clean, take deaths on Mutoid at all times and every time? Or is he going to pick his spots? How's it going to line up there? There's a real hot and cold to RNJesus. What are we going to get today? He says in the matchup channel he's going to be, hot and smart. Let's see what we get. Jefeman, meanwhile, needs that consistency. Here we go, guys. Game number 1 underway.
All right, here we go. The razor shield manipulation good for both. We'll see who gets the first hole shot of this match. After this match, we are going to be down to our Elite 8 here in the 7th Annual Super Smash TV Tournament. I'm excited because the matches are going to just get hotter and hotter.
And for those wondering, I did queue up a possible match coming up on Monday. We do have Skunky and Tetsuo tentatively penciled in for Monday at 5. I'm able to do comms, so if Dino can broadcast it, seems okay with it, it's probably going to happen. So keep an eye out on the events, your socials, my Discord, the whole 9, as we head into collect power-ups here.
Yep, and if that's the case, like per usual, I'll probably drop in maybe a couple minutes late, but I will definitely be there for it.
There you go. Brian, cards on comms. What more do you need, Burgundy?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the 3-man booth. I mean, Burgundy is one of the best in the business as well. We got to admit that.
Oh, 100%. I love when Burgundy's in the booth. Does a great third-man job. And look at this nuke from RNJesus finishing out at an 82nd here. Meanwhile, Hefe's not getting much of anything.
No, he's not. I mean, as Burgundy would say...
You know what? A good job. I got to say, for nothing. Oh RNJesus dies! The swirl got him and the orb.
So there's the inconsistency you were alluding to, Brisulph, on RNJesus' side.
And he almost died again! That grunt was swinging! He's very, playing on the edge here. Let's see how it goes. Meanwhile, Jefeman using invulnerabilities to kill the shrapnels. RNJesus is making do with grenades.
I must say, Jefeman is doing a fine job with what the game has given him, and that's been not much. RNJesus...
Ooh, troll though. Troll job there by the game.
Yeah. It's going to be a 2-0-4. RNJesus is still going to have the lead. Jefeman, he's going to bleed time just because he's had nothing to help him out.
This has been awful for Jefe. Just nothing. And he didn't even get a foot to pair with those invulnerabilities.
No.
That was disgusting.
He is now 17 seconds back, and I must say, I don't think he's done anything wrong in this game so far.
He lost his firing lens a bit. He gets an orb in the middle as the first draw. Desperately needed here. You love to see that, but man, 17 seconds. Now he can bite into that lead. How long will let's say
There's the orb for RNJesus, though. So he loses the orb. So RNJesus could really build into that lead. I'm talking over 30 seconds if things don't improve for Jefe.
potentially. And Burgundy, what do you call that? Commentator's blessing, I guess?
Question mark?
Right? Any event, RNJesus doing a good job keeping control of the middle. A late Razor Shield will help him finish off the room. Spreader for Jefeman, that's something. But look at this, an RNJesus at 3:07. Razor Shield for Jefeman, but that time is going to be bleeding. We might see the swirl of sadness. Yes. I had to think of the word for just a moment, Burgundy.
Yes, the swirl of sadness. We have rebranded because it's 2023 and the swirl of shame is too limiting and bullying.
Agreed. There's a late orb for Jefeman.
Oh, he gets it. He
breaks it. Nice.
One of the foot soldiers broke it, but he is 29 seconds back, I believe.
Yeah, 28 seconds back with that 3:35. So Jefeman, I mean, has the orb as RNJesus loses his.
There goes the orb.
And then he gets clubbed. So maybe a chance for Jefeman to cut into this lead.
Maybe that delay warming up because we had to wait for that frame count in the Dino Prince Leaf matchup has cost both of them here a little bit of sharpness, both making some mistakes, especially RNJesus.
Oh, for sure. These are uncharacteristic mistakes that we're seeing on RNJesus' side. As Jefeman gets an open and drop Razor Shield, should take care of both of the gunners. He does. A nice nuke there from RNJesus to give himself a little bit of a breather. But Jefeman with that Razor Shield, rockets to close out the room for RNJesus.
Close out, probably, but it depends. He gets back to the middle, not too bad. He should be able to close with this. Jefeman, the Razor Shield's almost gone. And yet, that'll be enough to finish it. It's going to be a 4:34. Let's see what Jefe gets. It was a 28-second lead, so anything below 5:02, it is some time made.
Oh, absolutely, but watch out for that gun. Gets the tank down. There's an invulnerability, but that's not really helping. Oh, and losing the orb late is Jefeman, so he will not have an opportunity at the ball buster.
Look at that.
Unfortunate. He did cut 10 seconds of that lead, though.
10 seconds cut here. It's a 22-second lead. RNJesus is starting with some lobber train. Let's see what Jefe can do here. Burgundy, let's see if we can see that opening drop be really nice. Not too bad.
Robert's better than nothing. Gave him enough time to take out the swirl.
Now, Lobber's a fine opening drop there. That consistent damage, but the gunners pick him off.
And the good news is all these mistakes are just happening in one game here for Jefe, so that's something at least.
The Rockets will be able to take out the gunners, but RNJesus has the second arm popped off, a manual spreader chance, and a vulnerability!
Oh,
Gives him a chance to catch up here, boys.
And look at this. He's doing a great job and a great grab of that lobber, and he is cut into that lead. They're tied.
It's barely a lead, and his weapons are better. No weapon for RNJesus. Jefe's got the lead right now.
And great shots on those lobbers. What's the next weapon for Jefe? It's grenades, RNJesus, and a vulnerability.
A third empty drop in a row for RNJesus.
Unreal.
Unbelievable.
Jefeman, that lead is widening right now. Can you believe this? He's going to race a 28-second lead, barring something unexpected. Final form should be coming up soon for Jefeman.
What a great grab. He timed out that grenade perfectly. Second last form. He gets the spreader.
Oh, he could have taken that death.
You know what? Right now, I know he doesn't know it. Oh, what a great move. Did you see him walk around the line?
Wow.
Amazing moves there for Jefeman. He could win it on the back up, but he's zapped. Here's a spreader.
And a rocket. Will this be enough?
It's final form. He could steal it back. Does he get the transfer? He's run over. No.
Oh, no. This is so tight. He needs that grenade. RNJesus gets a weapon. And it's...
Oh, wow. Jefeman hangs on. Wow.
I had visions of hey, we got a frame count game one of this match.
I did too, but it's going to be a 650 versus a 652 for a 2-second difference. Man, Mutoid Man doing Mutoid Man things, and Jefeman coming all the way back from 28 seconds down into tank trouble to take game number one. Wow.
A 30-second turnaround in that Mutoid Man, just absolutely jaw-dropping.
Yeah, it ended up being a 20-second turnaround overall in the Mutoid Man fight. He was 18 seconds down going in, ends up winning by 2. That spreader, I thought that spreader, RNJesus was going to steal that one away, but Trolltoid doing Trolltoid things, as we've seen time and time again in this tournament.
Brisulph getting them together. We're getting our composure here. At least I think so.
I mean, we just had a photo finish in that last match, and here we are starting game number 1 with a 2-second difference.
Mr. Dino will be getting them underway momentarily. We have a prediction, a poll open in chat. Please make your bets with some points from the channel. It's all for fun, but still gamble within your head and don't, drown yourself in the surf. I think that's how it goes.
Something like that.
Yeah, that tank trouble is where that victory started to slip away for RNJesus.
Oh, absolutely. And I got to say, if you do have a gambling problem, call 1-800-MIX-A-LOT. I believe that's how the rest of that goes.
I like big bets, and I cannot lie.
Touche, Burgundy. Well, we're having a lot of fun here on GG Speedruns, and I hope you're having a lot of fun too here in the audience. We're going to get game number 2 ready to go in just a few moments. Let's see if RNJesus can equalize or if Jefeman can get out to a 2-0 lead.
Oh, somebody better call for the man, because I'm corpsing over here. Game number 2 is underway.
I've heard of that reference before too as well. Let's see what happens. Game 2.
And yeah, Burgundy's down here popping the boys. All right, let's see. Grenades for RNJesus, not ideal in this room. Kills your range off, dead.
All right, we'll try to get these runners in sync. We're doing that right now. And it is going to be, once again, it's going to be Jefeman with the hole shot, and a good one at that. Look at this time from Jefeman. It's a mid-38 versus a mid-40, so a 2-second advantage to start in collect power-ups.
I mean, what's 1 3/4 between friends? But regardless, a heck of an opener. Let's see what Jefe is going to get here as the open. Should see a drop. Actually, drops immediate for RNJesus. It's a foot, a razor shield for Jefe.
Small advantage there for Jefeman and invulnerability, which is nice to chain up with that foot. Speaking of foot, another one for RNJesus.
And a rocket for Jefe, so drops definitely favoring Jefe early. But there's the orb for RNJesus.
Yeah, that could potentially equalize this entire game if we don't see an orb real soon for Jefe. He is going to come out of the lead.
Look at this time. Great time.
78. Very nicely done.
Very low 78, but RNJesus did what he had to do and kept the damage to a minimum. It's a low 125. It's a 7-second lead. Where have I heard that before?
Let's call it a 6 3/4 second lead among friends.
Throw it back in my face. I like it. Very
Absolutely.
Good.
Now, spreader for Jefeman to start the room, so that'll at least keep him under control for a little bit. But RNJesus with that orb, keeping it nice and healthy. Rockets for Jefeman will keep him afloat. Should help with the foot soldiers. Are going to help with the Mr. Shrapnels. But if he doesn't see that orb soon, we are going to see that lead flip.
Yeah, at this point, he's got to be. Yeah, he really should have been using the rockets the whole way there. It's counterintuitive, but you want to get the swarmers gone. If they last, it still extends the room.
Yeah, and because of that lead is cut to 6 seconds now for Jefeman, and that lead is going to flip if we don't see an orb soon. I understand why Jefeman made that play.
And he gets the weapon.
Good.
So he needed that.
I will say, I understand why Jefeman wanted to use the invulnerability rather than the rockets. He wanted to conserve in case Total Carnage did Total Carnage things. I totally get it.
Not a bad idea, but you got to know where you are in the room and what time you're at and where, how many are left, because it cost himself some time needlessly.
A lot of feet for Jefeman. I didn't even see it. He got it, though.
Unbelievable there, Burgundy. What are your thoughts here? Is it going to be a lead change?
It's going to be a little difficult at this point. I'm going back to see where that orb on the feet happened.
It's still going to be a Jefeman lead. Good quality weapons, a 258. The nuke does not finish the room for RNJesus, but he did cut a second into that lead. It is now a 5-second lead for Jefeman.
RNJesus, that nuke, he got a 3-door spawn of 4 enemies. Like, he was that close to timing that.
Yeah, if he would have timed that right, you're probably talking 1 or 2 seconds.
So at worst, he had 4 enemies. At best, 3 enemies left. That's crazy.
Unbelievable. Let's see what happens to start tank trouble. It's a nuke, a good opener there. One of the gunners will be popped off. Let's see what RNJesus gets. It's rockets.
Love to see that. We've seen a foot for Jefe. He runs into the mine.
That run was his. That's mine.
Gets the second gunner. RNJesus now taking control of the middle here. Nuke over in between the mines. I think he's going to ignore it. Rockets for Jefe.
Yep, and the rockets are going to be good, and he gets an orb replacement. I still think if RNJesus keeps the firing lanes good, we're going to see a change of leadership, but more rockets.
Rocket. Yeah, those rockets are going to help. Can Jefe, but he's going to have to waste too many to get back. He didn't get really any real advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to say who's going to come out on top out of this room. I mean, rockets, some good rockets, but, not the best of firing lanes. Look out for that bullet. And it is an RNJesus lead with a 4:16. So that 5-second deficit that RNJesus had is going to turn into a 6-second lead for RNJesus, an 11-second swing, gentlemen.
Tank Trouble can have those double-digit swings, as you know. Good opening drop here for RNJesus. I don't know if he knows you're not dealing extra damage until Mutoid's in the room. He gets a spreader here. He's trying to get rid of a gunner to get to a manual. They both have it. Jefe going for the ball buster.
No, he doesn't get it.
RNJesus going for pause strats. Very rare to see. He's trying.
Wow.
People don't use it very often, but yeah, that is a valid strategy.
Yeah, the Crystal Saver strats, as I called in Zelda Randomizer during the Ganon fight.
Kind of crazy there. Jefe, meanwhile, still trailing here. Gets a lobber, gets rid of the second gunner. RNJesus firing away, takes grenades. And here's a spreader, but it's really far away, and Jefe decides to not take it down.
Yep. And he gets a vulnerability for it.
Oh, what a drop! What a drop! And it's going to be same form here in a second if he can just land a few more shots. He runs out, though.
He runs out. It is still an RNJesus lead. How much is it? It's got to be less than a form.
It's less than a form, but I'd say a solid half right now. Weapons favoring RNJesus at the moment. Here goes oh, what a little dance there from Jefe. But he's got a foot on the wrong side of the room.
And RNJesus is still getting weapons. Not great weapons. He takes the death, hoping for a spreader, and he gets one!
He gets one! Unbelievable!
Wow! But he's not going to get to final form off of this.
Yes, he will. He will.
Wow!
And they're tied. They're
he's getting transfer, I think, from manuals. They both have lobbers. Who's going to come out on top?
It's really tight, and there's no refill for Jefe. Oh,
no!
But he didn't take into account the extended hitbox. Let's see, can RNJesus finish out? Spreader on the wrong side. RNJesus trying for a lobber.
Oh, this is going to be so close. I have no idea who's going to finish this one. Missing a lot of shots. Oh, my goodness. It's RNJesus.
I think it's RNJesus. The timers are almost perfectly synced.
I think that's a provisional. I think you got to give RNJesus a provisional on this.
I will quickly do a check. It's hard to read his decimal, but I think this is going to be about a quarter of a second win.
About a third of a second, it looks like, just looking at the timers. But, the hitbox denying Jefe, man. 2 games, and the difference between the two, roughly a second and 2/3. Wow. But RNJesus, to the naked eye, looks like he does equalize winning game number 2. My word.
Why not? Two races in these pair of matches here that have been under a second differential. You like to see it.
Oh, no question about it. It makes it exciting for us here in the commentators booth, and it definitely makes it exciting for everybody here in the studio audience here on GG Speedruns. But I think what we're going to have to do is, now that RNJesus, or rather not RNJesus, now that Mr. Dino is not in the race, he can definitely count this on the spot. But in my opinion, I think you got to give a provisional to RNJesus, but we'll wait.
Are we going to do the pizza time thing again?
I have no idea.
No. Here's what we're doing. Dino is going to frame count. I'm going to count them in when they're ready. And he's gonna direct message me the results, and I will announce them after race number 3 is over, and I will let them know first in the matchup channel, and then I'll let everyone else know.
Yep. So as you can see, RNJesus has been given a provisional win. While game number 3 is going on, so we keep the action going, we are going to frame count it, and then at the end of game number 3, we will tell you for sure who won game number 2. But again, to the naked eye, it looked like RNJesus pulled it off.
Oh, we had someone asking Chad, is this almost kind of going back to the 80s? Is it real or is it Memorex? No, we are live at the moment here. It is 6:30 p.m. Eastern on April 15th. If you're watching it after that, then it's definitely a replay.
And I gotta say, when you said that, all I could see was The Rock looking at his beeper with a terrified look on his face. Game number 3 underway. Provisionally tied at 1. Jefeman and RNJesus. The realign will be coming from Dino when he has an opportunity. He's also frame counting. He is only human. Let's see. Game number 3. Can Jefeman clean up some of the mistakes? Can RNJesus clean up some of the mistakes? RNJesus was a little more solid in that match, but his Mutoid was definitely rough.
Yeah, it most certainly was. I mean, RNJesus, you know, was able to stay alive, and Jefeman, man, he's probably thinking to himself, what could have been? I could have been up 2 games to nothing. I did not take that death right there.
Yeah, it was that tight. It was unreal. But so despite the discrepancy, it's actually RNJesus with the lead here.
Yes.
Watch the timer. So it'll be RNJesus when he disappears out of 50, and it's going to be a 49. So it's about a second lead here for RNJesus. Opening drops are a razor shield for Jefe, a foot for RNJesus.
Oh, and that rocket, he's not going to be able to get to it because it's too low, and that razor shield restricts your movement.
And a comment about the saturation being dialed up. That's actually being done on the fly by Mr. Dino, just looking to brighten up his screen a little because it is a little dark.
And there is an orb for RNJesus. They don't call him RNJesus for nothing. And right now, he is riding the tide. Considering that game number 2 win that he got, he's going to have a 124. Jefeman about 3.5 seconds back. No orb, though.
So, yeah, so it's about a 3.5 second lead, as our good friend Cards was saying. Meanwhile, here, Jefe, going to take the nuke or play it, decides against it. Let's see how he can do here. He's already got 2 shrapnels. He's got to be careful.
Oh, just in time. And one of them is going to explode. He doesn't get a shrapnel to the face somehow.
He got a haircut. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have Biff Tannen as his pickup there.
True.
It makes sense. He got a buzz cut.
Absolutely.
Or a flat top, whatever.
Yeah, Jefeman has had to scramble in this room, and he is going to be losing some time now. It's going to be a 2.
Oh, he finally gets an orb. He finally gets an orb here, but yeah, he is. Oh, and he's getting a double shrapnel blow up. That's even worse. It's going to be 10 seconds easy.
Yep, 10 seconds indeed.
So let's see if he can clean it up here now that he's finally equipped and can actually go after the enemies.
Both get rockets.
And RNJesus, look at this firing lanes. Oh
no! That's a purple shirt!
As I say it, a Matrix purple shirt sneaks his way through, going, whoa.
And he gets a replacement on the feet!
Way to step on my joke, jeez.
I am so sorry, but I had to mention that because he got one.
It's all good. Let's see here. Jefe going for the spreader. Oh, that shrapnel piece was trying to sneak through the shield, but it did block it in the end.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times. Speaking of a razor shield, RNJesus gets one of his own. Should keep this lead. Will the nuke? Is he gonna,
great nuke. Spat on it right till it was perfect. It's a 303. And look at this, though. He's gained
2 seconds.
So he's about 7.5 to 8 seconds back here. And you know what? I think we should fit it in here before we get to the seriousness of the reveal there at the end of this game for the frame counts. It's product placement time. I gave Burgundy the first one. Cards, promote something.
Oh, Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell. All right, so a razor shield to start for RNJesus here in tank trouble. What does Jefeman get? A foot. Big time advantage for RNJesus.
And he runs into the mine again!
And he gets in. How many? He's not going to keep that.
No, he wasn't focused on keeping it clean.
Are you kidding? He's going to get another replacement. What?
Now a spreader for both actually, but that razor shield for RNJesus is doing work.
Yeah, he's going to build that lead. Both gunners are now gone. Rockets for RNJesus with the razor shield. He is sitting pretty. He is poised to extend that lead tremendously here. Jefeman doing a lot of scrambling here. He's not getting any other weapons now. And RNJesus losing the orb at the end. No ballbuster chance.
How did Jefeman keep that orb with that string of bullets just like walking between them?
And RNJesus made a big mistake. That's going to cost him several seconds and a ballbuster chance. He is a 423, but look at this. Jefeman is only down by 11.5 seconds.
Down by 11.5 here, has the ball buster. Here's a great chance to manual. RNJesus landing a few. He's got to be careful, avoids the bullets, but gets picked off by the second volley.
All right, rockets to start. Jefeman can focus on the gunners, more rockets, so that's something, but here's a spreader. He can't die for it, though.
Hefe trying a very sneaky ball buster, couldn't get it, and RNJesus gets another spreader.
Wow, they don't call him RNJesus for nothing, that's for sure. Lobbers for Jefeman, but yeah, RNJesus has the lead again.
Oh, most definitely a couple forms ahead here. Now he's going to go to the paw strats again. They haven't worked for him thus far. They can work, but if you invest and they fail, then it's a double whammy.
Absolutely, because Jefeman was just able to sneak into those lobbers before they disappeared. Nice movement there. Another empty drop for RNJesus.
And I got to tell you, Hefe should pops the second arm. He's still behind by a little bit, but it's definitely narrowed here.
Yeah, he's down by a full form approximately, but the weapons right now advantage Jefeman.
Whoa, the sun keeps going in and out of the clouds here on Hefe's side. Pops the chest open.
Now he's got to get to it's going to continue for RNJesus, and he's blocked. No, he's not blocked. Got to stop you there, Burgundy. He somehow managed to get those grenades. I don't know how, but he did.
Maybe it's the explosions that are doing it. That's a good point for Greta.
Oh my goodness, they're tied.
But remember, there's a gap in the timers. There is a gap in timers here.
Oh, if this continues, are we going to have another photo finish?
I do have the results. I will let you know after this exciting race concludes.
Final four for Jefeman and an empty drop for RNJesus. So advantage right now for Jefeman. Can he stay alive?
But he's
an empty drop.
And he's just going to ignore it. That is the right move. Get the full grenade. Final form for RNJesus now.
What is Jefeman going to get for a drop? It's grenades. Good DPS. Will it be enough?
He might need another.
It is enough.
Unbelievable. Now, wait.
Yes.
Now it's his.
It is his. Yep.
Unbelievable, boys. That was something else. And there it is. RNJesus finishes it up. So I'm going to head to the matchup channel. Let them know first. They are the racers. They deserve to know what's going on. And I will let you know the results momentarily.
But game number 3 does indeed go to Jefeman. He was down by 10.5 seconds, 11.5 seconds. He ends up winning by that same margin. So that is quite unbelievable, that turnaround right there for Jefeman. And he's up 2-1. I'll tell you what, just uncharacteristic play for RNJesus so far. And again, Brisulph alluded to this, folks. It's like, there's a reason why we have it in the commentator's booth. He provides that analysis that sometimes I can't.
Yeah, just that kind of Jekyll and Hyde, which are you going to get kind of mindset, and that's pretty much what we've seen thus far from RNJesus.
So, game number 2, the final frame count reveals, as we suspected, RNJesus did win game number 2, about 0.38 seconds separating the two of them. So, good for him for winning game 2. Game 3 does go to Jefeman. It is a 2-1 lead for the man with the mustache. Let's see if RNJesus, with the flow of hair up there, can get it to 2-2. 2-2 is the new hotness in this tournament. They almost all end up there.
23 frames, folks. It's not one frame, but 23 is number 1, let's face it.
I don't know, Bart versus the Juggernauts was pretty fun. It looks like we'll be underway here in a second and should be lined up for you guys a little more accurately this time. We just couldn't adjust it on the fly because Mr. Dino was taking care of that frame count. Thank you so much, Mr. Dino. You run a great show here. We appreciate everything you, Kreelok, and anyone else that does anything for this tournament. Commentaries, players, whatever it might be. Contributors alike, we appreciate it. We are underway, boys. Game number 4. Is RNJesus going to even this? I feel this is going to be an RNJesus massacre. He is going to come flying in here and get like a 5-5x or better.
Well, we'll see if he is indeed due. Jefeman right now running the momentum here. We'll see if he's able to keep it up. I still think he really needs to clean up his arena gameplay. If he wants to solidify his opportunity to win this match, I think he needs to clean up. RNJesus, he's got to do the same, but he also has to have better RNG from Mutoy, man. We have seen how nasty it's been. What a shock. As close as these games have been, we're tied going into collect power-ups.
Absolutely crazy. If you go by timers, it might be Jefe by minimal amounts. And I mean infinitesimal amounts. Like maybe even a frame.
Yeah. Where have I seen that before? And look at, they both get grenades in the same spot.
Gross. RNJesus gets to them first. Next drop is a foot, but we have an orb for Jefe, so the first orb goes to Jefe for the first time in the match, I believe.
I believe you're right about that. So good advantage here for Jefeman, not having to scramble this time around. So let's see if he can keep it nice and healthy throughout this room. But here's an orb for RNJesus. Equal opportunity drops, but I do suspect Jefeman should keep that lead.
There was a near miss right before that orb grab. RNJesus got swung at, but those green soldiers sometimes swing a little wildly and miss. They're Casey at the bat, and that worked out. It's about a 3.5 second lead here, I'd have to say, Cards.
Yep, that same 3.5 seconds that we saw in another game in this match. So here we go. But Jefeman's scrambling here, and I have no idea how he didn't lose that orb.
He did a good job of just riding out the invulnerability. The double shrapnel explosion did him great. He's doing too much running around. You got to get to the middle, get control. Pepper the shrapes, pepper the swarmers, back and forth you go.
He's bleeding time.
Yeah,
we've seen 4 shrapnels on the screen a lot.
I mean, he's struggling to identify the time. Here, great. He'll get 2 right there. And he's going to lose a bit of time, though. Let's see what we get.
He's going to lose a lot of time, and we may have a tie again. No, it's still going to be a lead of 2:09 versus a 2:10, but that lead is cut by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, he was way too out and about. Once you get the initial cleanup done, get to the middle. Great rocket grab. Did you see that from RNJesus?
Yes, I did. That was absolutely fantastic. Jefeman getting a razor shield, so he'll be able to keep control of the middle. But yeah, RNJesus, this is the RNJesus we're accustomed to seeing.
He's looking pretty sharp thus far. Let's see if he can keep it going. Meanwhile, Jefe gets the razor shield and a spreader set up pretty nicely for now.
All right, Jefeman doing a good job keeping control of the middle of the room. Not really getting anything to complement what he has, but as long as he keeps those firing lanes good, he should be just fine. RNJesus is looking to get something to try to maybe take the lead out of this room. I don't know if he'll be able to time this nuke. We'll see. He tries, but not quite.
That was a last frame grab, too. He got that as late as he could. And it's still going to be Jefe in the lead. A 304 versus a 305. It's basically a second again.
Yeah, not even 2 seconds is the lead for RNJesus. So he did gain the lead. He saved about 3-ish seconds. So anybody's game. Now, Jefeman does have half a clip of weapon.
It is a spreader, not ideal, but you can definitely do some damage. I will say RNJesus has played Tank Trouble generally better. Let's see if that holds.
And not a good opening drop for either player.
And Jefe didn't focus on the gunners, and he paid for it, while RNJesus ignored a bad drop, got rid of a gunner, so advantage RNJesus.
Now both gunners are down. Oh, and RNJesus loses the orb. He will get rockets, though. And more.
And more. A quick refill.
And you've said this many times, Brisulph, sometimes it's better if you just... Oh, but he's down!
That's not better!
No, that is a mistake.
That purple swarmer just would not go down.
Yeah, now Jefeman can get this lead back. But more rockets for RNJesus.
Wild the amount of rockets here. Must be the 1960s, because there's rockets everywhere. Right?
One small step for man.
And it is still going to be an RNJesus lead, 422, because Jefeman has to finish it up.
Hold on, not still an RNJesus lead. It's now an RNJesus lead into the Mutoid Man.
You're right, 427, 5-second difference.
Let's see if Mutoid will... Oh, RNJesus gets sniped! Will he still get to the lobbers? He's got time?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Lobbers for Jefeman as well, but he's got a problem. It's the swirl, and that nucleus is
ignoring
still
it. He's ignoring it. Not a bad thing. He just didn't get to the invulnerability to help him. He's waiting for the next weapon. It's a spreader.
It's going to work out.
Unbelievable.
But here's one for RNJesus.
For RNJesus, too.
Equal opportunity drops, and this is
invulnerability.
Insane.
Invulnerability.
Big advantage for RNJesus.
Pounding home shots. Gets a glitchtoid. Finally, we see one. It's been a while.
Absolutely.
Another spreader.
Another spreader.
This is why they call him RNJesus, folks. He's about to equalize this match. Another one.
You don't want that now.
I was just about to say, he should have taken the death before and then do it again.
Jefe's having a real good run here, but man,
he's just... This is a great Mutoid Man fight for Jefe, man. It's just that RNJesus is better. About to wrap this up with these grenades. The lobbers definitely will do it. Just got to get the shots landed.
And he's just got to avoid a stupid death, and he did his job. Final form, Jefe can't get it. Too little, too late. It's going to be a sub-6 for RNJesus if he'd had better drops at the end. we were talking about a sub 550 easily.
555 triple nickels for RNJesus. Jefeman, I mean, well, I was just about to say he had a pretty good fight going until that. And he only needed a couple shots.
He played a solid fight, but man, he ran into a buzzsaw of spreaders. And you noticed RNJesus, the one time he had to go manual, he didn't go with the paw strats.
And it worked out for him somehow. It's a 23-second margin of victory, easily the biggest of this match. And ladies and gentlemen, this game, what was once a best-of-7 series, is now a best-of-3. That has been the theme of these money rounds here, Brisulph and Burgundy.
Yeah, it's what brought you into the booth in the first of these.
Right?
Yeah, it quite literally summoned probably the most insane single race we've ever had. But regardless, they'll be underway momentarily. Keep in mind, when after this matchup, we'll be down to the final 8. There will be elimination matches happening on the bottom half of the bracket. 2 more people will go home this week, and potentially more if we get all the matches in. We do have 1 match scheduled, tentatively, but probably going to happen Monday at 5 Eastern. Tetsuo and my memory is failing.
Skunky 48, and both of them just got done going the distance in both of their respective matches. Skunky against Upla and Tetsuo against the 3rd annual champion 40-watt range.
Not to mention the 4th annual silver medalist and a possible medalist in the 5th until an injury. So, we've seen some retirements in the last week here with 40 and Leaf. Now, never say never for anybody, but they both said this was their final tournament, and we will respect that if they choose to do that, and we will respect it if they come back. But either way, a wild and woolly tournament is only getting crazier with each advancing match.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm on the edge of my seat here, but I think RNJesus.
Hold on a minute. Hold it. Wild and woolly. You're on the edge of your sheep. It's fine.
Right? Words, how does? I think RNJesus is going to ride this tide. I mean, we had talked about this before the match started, Brisulph, that, RNJesus was going to ride that experience. Had some hiccups in the first couple of games or so, but he really found his groove in that last game.
Very much, and we are underway here. Game number 5. I got to say, Jefe played much better there. Still had some issues. Still having those bad early RNG, not getting the orb. But played a better regular arena and honestly was pretty good in the Mutoid fight. So he can carry that over. Has a real shot to take a 3-2 lead here. But RNJesus will have the whole shot.
You are right. It is a low 39 versus a high 39, so about a 3/4 of a second, give or take.
So let's see here. Burgundy, call him out. What are we getting?
Oh, you wanted me to call him ahead of time. It looks like a vulnerability in an orb.
An orb for Jefe, but now an orb for RNJesus, so not too bad at all. Way to go, Burgundy, you nailed it.
Nice. Rocket still for Jefeman, a razor shield for RNJesus, so they're getting some goodness here and collect power-ups.
I'd love to see this continue the whole way and have some smoking hot times. It's been a hot minute since we've had something crazy.
Oh, look at this for RNJesus. It's a 77 versus a 79, both sub 80 going into Eat My Shrapnel. A 2-second lead for RNJesus. But watch out.
RNJesus trying to get the second shrapnel instead of the swarmers. Not the worst strategy, but it makes that swirl a little more dangerous. You have less escape room.
Did work out for him, and now Jefeman. Now this has been a problem room for him so far in this match, is trying to keep this room under control.
He's been having difficulty with the peppering of the shrapnels here and killing them in one burst.
Oh, but now he's going to get rockets. He'll have a much better time this round.
You don't have to kill them in one burst, but it does help, and if you're accurate with it, you can get it done.
And RNJesus will have rockets for himself too, and he's done with a 159. Jefeman a 201, that same 2-second lead.
You got to love a 2-minute average for being into total carnage. Both with those rockets coming in clean up, both getting invulnerability, both picking it up.
That was a dangerous grab there for RNJesus, but he does get rewarded with a razor shield, so he's going to have that advantage. That could grow spreaders now.
I mean, the spreader doesn't do a whole lot for him. He's just looking for the next drop. Rockets on the feet! Unbelievable!
Absolutely incredible for RNJesus. That lead is going to be growing. Back-to-back spreaders now for Jefeman. Hey, save him for the Mutoid Man fight, huh?
That would be nice, especially since they were all landing on RNJesus' side.
And then invulnerability afterwards? Come on, game. Order of operations.
Now a razor shield late for RNJesus. He can still make good use of this. He can't get that spreader, and it's in a bad spot anyway. Look at this time. Look at this time. It's a 2:49. Just snuck it in under the wire.
Yes, he did. I'd say a 2:49.9, but Heavyman's time's going to be pretty good as well. It's going to be a 3-minute flat.
I don't know why he went above. I've been espousing this on my channel all tournament. You line yourself up with that bottom line on the chevrons going to that door. You can walk right through the door. You don't have to go near the mine. You don't have to leave it at all to leave that room.
It's about a 11-second lead, 10.5-second lead for RNJesus, but not a great opening drop and not a great spot. It's an invulnerability.
Wow.
It
wasn't a great spot, but he did the right move. Peppered and went and used the opportunity to use the mine as a staging area. Very solid.
Nuke for Jefeman, first gunner down. Now let's see how he can play this. A razor shield.
Ooh.
Rockets for Jefeman. Can he get to it? He does. Nice movement there.
Oh, he avoids the bullets! He avoided the bullets. What a little two-step.
Fantastic movement from Jefeman. Rockets on the feet for RNJesus.
Sub 4 is coming right now.
There it is. Look at this time. 3:57.
As soon as he hit the rockets on the feet, it was there. Can we see? I'm going to throw it out there into the ether. Could we see the fourth 501X member? Could we see the second 50X member? Come on, game.
409.
Give
So
us
he's
some
12
magic.
seconds back. It's still within reason for Jefeman to come back.
Give us some magic, game. You're not doing the magic.
And he gets flexed, so no ball buster either. But yeah, the PB chances dwindling very quickly on RNJesus' side, but he does have the lead as Jefeman got an invulnerability to start.
The magic was making that orb and ball buster disappear.
Right?
Oh, there's a key, and I don't think. Oh no.
And now Trolltroid, this is Putroid, and we're only just getting started. There's a spreader, and he can't die for it. He's gonna have to manual.
But he's got a
Look at
good
this.
manual chance. He's lining up in the corner for him. Look at this. Look at the damage.
Very nice.
Look at this.
Both arms are gone, and he's got the lead.
You love when he lines
Can
up
he get
like
another
that.
spreader? It's a lobber, which is good. He'll get it.
When he lines up like that, you can get so much damage in on him.
I know, it's the best kind of manuals. There's another spreader. He's doing the right thing, I think. He's keeping the lobbers. He's going to then grab the spreader, hope for an invulnerability, hope that he can get more. Look at this. He's doing it again.
He's going for his second manual of the match here. And he's he's nailing some of it. Look at this.
These are some of the best manuals I've seen in the entire tournament right here.
He's got to be careful. Great little stop and stutter there just to make sure he didn't die. Good job.
I must say, Jefeman deserves to win this.
He's picked off by a shrapnel. He will get the lobber, but it's final form Jefe.
And RNJesus has no lives left, and he's going to take the 5-second penalty here. He's hoping that he can come back. No,
he's not going to get it, I don't think.
He
Oh, he
will
does.
get it.
Oh, he does.
A little too late, I think.
Let's see. It is.
Unbelievable. And as we always say, that crucial game 5, it doesn't kill off the guy who loses it, but it sure as heck gives you a psychological and honestly just a numerical advantage. A 609. Jefeman takes game number 5.
That was a 2-minute Mutoid Man fight, and for RNJesus, it's going to be about a 2:33. Disgusting when you have a 3:57 going in to Mutoid Man, and you don't even break 6:30.
His early Mutoid Man was a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of bad execution, and in the end, that's what cost him this, because he had the lead. He had those extra scratch tickets, but he went Liberty Bell, eggplant every time.
I will say this much. I've seen quite a bit of Jefeman so far in the tournament. That was his best played game his entire tournament, in my opinion. He looked really, really good.
They always say you want to peak at the right time. He had a few issues here and there, but that was his best eat my shrapnel. His total carnage was still a little rough. Tank trouble was rough, but he made some excellent maneuvers late in the room to keep himself intact. And that may have just won him the match. Let's see how game number 6 goes. How did RNJesus trigger turbo mode?
I was just about to say, this is turbo mode.
What? How did he do this? What?
Somebody clip this now.
Unless he loaded a save state or something.
Oh, maybe he did. If he did, he certainly fooled us, Bri.
That was a teaser.
I had to put it in chat because you were talking about little bitty bells and eggplants, and it's a cherry. All right, so Hefe Man on double match point here against RNJesus. RNJesus is going to have to find a way to dig deep and reel off the next two, or his tournament is going to come to an end, and the rookie Jefeman82 will punch himself a ticket into the final 8.
So I did just confirm with RNJesus, he did not load a save state. He literally just reset. And for some reason, the ending where you get turbo mode unlocked because you went to the pleasure dome. So you know what, Cards? He's on easy, and he somehow got turbo mode. So I guess the pleasure dome sort of exists, maybe in easy.
I guess it does. RNJesus. They don't call him RNJesus for nothing, folks. Somehow he used his powers, as it were, to unlock turbo mode via easy percent. Somebody clip that because you're never going to see that again, I don't think. Good luck. Until we figure out what the manipulation is for that, we're not seeing that again.
Bizarre. Thank you, Burgundy, for clipping that. Please drop that into my Discord in the Super Smash TV section. We are underway. Game number 6. Hefe Man needs to win this one to advance. RNJesus needs to win this one to force a decisive Game 7. Let's see how they play the opening room here, Cards.
Yeah, we have seen so many deciders already in this half of the bracket. This would be 3 out of 4 if RNJesus were to win game number 6, and he is going to have the whole shot.
A nuke on the feet for Hefe trolled, but what an opener for RNJesus regardless. It's a high 38, still a mid 40, not bad with a nuke troll for Hefe.
Yep, about a 2 3/4 lead for RNJesus. But yeah, that's still a really good time for Hefe Man, despite the nuke on the feet there. Let's see what we get. A Razor Shield followed by a nuke for RNJesus.
So indeed, it's a bit better for Hefe, especially now with the Vitamin R flowing, with razors into rockets. RNJesus, meanwhile, riding the nades and nuke train, and this is a Captain N you don't want to see.
Well, but here's the orb for RNJesus, and right now, no orb for Hefe Man. So maybe RNJesus, if Hefe Man doesn't get an orb, can make something out of it. The quality of weapons, 78.
Great
That's a great room.
RNJesus, despite having some trolley drops, that's a 124. Nothing wrong with that.
And an opening orb for Hefe Man. A great shot to take down the swirl, so he should be in fine shape.
So it's still a 6-second lead because the drops super favored Hefe. And with an orb on hand, provided Hefe doesn't get too adventurous, and it's been a problem in this room. And you can see it again. Shrapnel bleeding out already on him, but he can ignore it. He's in control.
Yeah, now the foot soldiers are gone. He should be fine.
Absolutely. So it should be a 2 to 201 exit for Hefe if he's being accurate. And RNJesus should be around a 206 or a 207. Let's see how it plays out.
There you go. No, he's going to lose a second because he didn't recognize the end of the room there. So it's about a 202.
It's negligible. RNJesus left early, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a 7-second lead right now for Hefe Man. No weapon for either to start the room. Grenades for RNJesus are both. Yuck.
And they're both in a bad spot. You sometimes want to swing a little low here, especially with the shrapnel blowing up. RNJesus does pick up the grenade, I think by accident. What a great grab, though, of that invulnerability. He swung the orb away from the door before going. Very smart.
And he gets rewarded with some Vitamin R. More rockets for RNJesus could cut into that Hefe Man lead considerably, because Hefe Man's got nothing in this room so far.
And
there's a Razor Shield.
He's having to do a little bit of panic movement. That Razor Shield will help him right the ship. But yeah, RNJesus is biting in the lead right now, I would have to say.
Yeah, he may have the lead. There's rockets, though, for Hefe Man. That's what he needed to see.
He's got those shrapnels cleaned up. He's got a nuke as well that he can use to probably finish the room here if he recognizes it and doesn't need it.
Yep, inconsequential, but it is RNJesus with the lead by about half a second.
That shows you the importance and the power of firing lanes. RNJesus a little bit, undernourished by power-ups overall compared, but Hefe just didn't really have those firing lanes under control for large portions.
I'm going to tell you, this is a critical room for both runners right now.
It's like minimal lead, maybe RNJesus. Hard to say. Grenade to start. He picks it up, and now he's kind of trapped. Let's see how he plays it. He gets a spreader as a follow-up. Jefeman, meanwhile, uses a spreader to clean up both gunners.
Very good job use of that spreader there to clean up the gunners, but now he's in some trouble. Good dancing. And he gets a razor shield. Very nice.
Rockets for RNJesus, and more rockets RNJesus. He is shredding this room right now after a slow start.
Absolutely here. They both have the room under control, but yeah, the rockets could propel RNJesus to a bigger lead coming out if he keeps it nice and healthy. Watch out for that shrapnel. Rockets for both.
You'll love to see that, but Jefe is going to be trailing because look at this time.
Wow, great time.
Very nice.
4:08 for RNJesus. Jefeman is going to be trailing, but it's going to be by about 10 seconds, maybe a little less than 10 seconds. It's 9 seconds.
And I got to say, where have you heard this before? Jefe's trailing into the Mutoid room. Let's see if RNJesus can get that game 4 luck, not that game 5 luck.
Right. Here we go. Lobbers to start for both. Let's see if Jefeman, good patience there. Can he get the ball buster? Yes.
Nails it. Very nice. And he made the pickup in the process. And now he gets a spreader. And the bullets help him. The bullets got him down early.
But the bullets might hinder him in a moment.
Well, he's got an empty drop, so he can ignore that. And he's already popped 2 arms here. He's about a full
He's doing great.
Ahead.
He uses all of the clip, but he's looking for a weapon now. Trying to get rid of the gunners. It's a grenade. That's something. RNJesus with the lobbers. Second arm pops off, but he is still trailing.
And a death now. Jefeman, the drop is under Mutoid. Unless he gets a quick drop, he will not be able to do anything here. Let's see. It's a lobber. That's perfect at this point.
And he still has the lead, but it's barely.
Basically tied. Yeah. The weapons are favoring him. He's still in the lead on that. But here's a lobber for RNJesus.
Spreader in a not-so-good spot for Jefeman. He's going to have to go manuals. He's done some great manuals.
He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. Mutoid moved very trolly.
Probably for the better. He'll take the death. He'll get to the lobbers. But RNJesus has taken the lead. An empty drop, though.
And he missed the rocket refill. RNJesus was just frames away from grabbing it. Same form now.
This is very, very close. This could be a photo finish incoming. Final form for Jefeman, landing great shots with those lobbers, but missing some on the final form. This is anybody's game. Jefeman with the advantage. Can he hold on and take down RNJesus?
RNJesus gambled, and the drop was on the wrong side, and it wasn't a spreader. Final form. Jefeman killed!
We saw that happen earlier, but he's going to get to the lobbers still. It's still advantage Jefeman. Can he finish it off? He does.
Unbelievable. Wow. I gotta say, despite the seeding being like a 7 and a 9 here, this might be one of the biggest upsets of the tournament.
I agree. Jefeman played admirably, and RNJesus just wasn't as crisp as we've seen him in tournaments past, and just wasn't enough. He's going to lose by about 10 and a half seconds. And Jefeman82. You might as well stamp it right now, folks. He's your Rookie of the Year for the 7th Annual Super Smash TV Tournament. He's on to the Elite 8. Congratulations.
And cards, I'm just going to throw it out there. If you're going to stamp it, you may as well put it on the board.
Yes.